Hello everyone, how are we this morning? It's my hair's all in the way. It is Friday morning. Thank you for letting me postpone last night. It's a bit tricky when you've got kids who need a little bit of help and encouragement and, dare I say, nagging to get their homework finished on time. And considering he just got a merit award for, getting ahead in it, he needed to get it done. So thank you for letting me jump in at another spot. So today we are going to be playing with a new stamp set called Rooted in Nature. And this one is a big one. It's a nice double set and it is really lovely. Really loving this one. The font in it reminds me of, where am I? Cameras are back to front. Oh, I'm still all back to front. Hey Kim, how are you? So the font on these ones reminds me of the botanical, was it Botanical Gardens? And then they had a celebration set that had similar fonts in that one. It was really lovely. Hey Amanda. So we're going to be playing with that one today. I'm not going to chit chat too much. I don't think there's a whole lot to say. I still have my paper share and ribbon share going on my blog, so you've got until a little bit before the 31st of May, because I'll need to send out invoices before ordering. So I have that going on. The retiring list is going to be coming to an end very, very soon, so you will probably want to get your hands on anything that you need. Hey Carrie. So whether that's cardstock or ink refills, I think they're probably the big ones, and of course the stamp sets that you've been wanting but didn't actually get. Hey Lorraine, hey Mary. Okay, so let us swing around and let's take a look at this stamp set and the card that I'm going to make. So I will switch around. Okay, so I do have a picture of the card. Do you want to see the card before we go and create? Hey Lois. I've actually made it in two colours. Maybe I'll show you let's go back to the stamp set first and then you can let me know. So we're playing with Rooted in Nature. Just got to hold it up a little bit so you don't get that glare on there. So this is a really, really lovely stamp set. And I will be doing this one for my Stamp by Mail. So I'll show you a few of the coordinating products. I don't have all of them, but I do have a few. So it's a lovely stamp set. It is rubber. And there are 16 stamps in that one. So that is lovely. Now, the fantastic thing about that one is that nearly every stamp set, nearly every stamp in the set, it's too early in the morning, good morning Nicole, has a die, which is awesome. This one doesn't have a die, and of course obviously the sentiments don't have a die, but everything else has a die. That's got a die, that one's got a die, all the other ones have. It's awesome. And so these ones are like for obviously just cutting out the shapes, but these ones here are for embossing, so you can cut out your shape and then emboss it. So there's 3 that will do that, which is pretty cool. So that is great. And so we have that. There is some twine that goes with it, Nature's Twine. So we've got mint macaron, blackberry bliss, crumb cake, which sort of looks a bit more suede to me, and grapefruit grove. So there's that. And then of course there's designer series paper, and this is what happens when you cut your paper the wrong size. You end up with scraps. But that's good because that means you have to use them then, right? Okay, so we've got, get them out of the way, we've got leaves and the bold. Oh, different coloured leaves and another bold one. I love that. Fern and a leafy thing. Do you love my descriptions? Another leafy thing. And that is like little tiny cross hatches, like linen. Linen would probably be a better way to describe that. More leaves and more textured colour. What else? And I think this is the final one. So, and stripes. Yes, Lois, you need this stamp set. This will be my stamp by mail, so if you're interested in that. And there is also some embellishments, some little like silvery embellishment things that go with that. And I'm not sure whether there's something else or not. But, okay, so the card that we are going to be making is this one here. I put a little bit of stink of Weller on there, so you'll probably see a little bit of sparkle. So that is what we're going to make. So let us be getting started. I've just got some Whisper White card here. Oh, the colours that go with that suite. We have Petal Pink, which I have to say is not a pink pink. It is a orange pink. Okay, Grapefruit Grove. So you can see that it's more of an orange pink than a pink pink. We have Mint and Tranquil Tide. So they're the two colours that match there. Okay, I'll stack them. We have Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry. So they're the stackers there. And then we also have some Cajun Craze and some Soft Suede. Now, the other thing that you can do is you could put the Petal Pink in with the purples, even though I've just said it's an orange pink, and you can put the Cajun Craze with them. So that would probably work all the way. So the colours that I'm going to be using is this one, what else did I use? That one and that one, I think, and that one. All right, let us be getting started. All right, so Soft Suede. This one you do have to cut out, but I just want to show you how they stamp up because they are super fine. Like they're not a real deep, well, this one's not a very deeply etched stamp. So we will need one of them. Oh, little wood elements. Okay, I thought they were something else. So that stamps beautifully. Okay, so you need one of them. I'm going to end up with a huge mess here, so I'm going to pop things well out of my way. And Amanda, thank you very much for the tip. Look at that, it fits beautifully. And it's still nice and damp, although I will probably take it out every couple of days and just let it air dry. But that's nice and chamois-like still. Okay, so we need, got to have a look. We need 2 of these. Oop, my hair is molting. And these are just, the images are just really pretty. So you can see how pretty and detailed they are. Okay. Alright. I'm in a bit of a, hang on a minute, let me pull my thingy a little bit closer to me. I pushed my camera back so that you wouldn't have so much of my face in yours. Okay. No, it hasn't really kept, because the chamois not like soaking wet. So there's my, like, you can't see any, there's a tiny little bit of moisture, but because this isn't sopping wet, as I say that and squeeze it, it doesn't, it's not, I guess if it was then in something hot, like in a warmer environment at the moment, it might sweat a little bit, but it hasn't. And that's been in my bag since Wednesday morning, and I haven't touched it or taken it out, and it was fine. So okay, so then we need one of them, and so this is in the Tranquil Tide, and one of them, just for little accents. And I need so many colours. Oh, sorry, I was reading your question wrong, Mary. Thank you very much, Amanda. I thought you meant, does it make my stamp case go like wet. No, it doesn't. And yes, the chamois is still, that chamois has been in there since Wednesday when I wet it last, and I haven't touched it. So it is still nice and damp. But I would take it out and and let it dry out. Otherwise it might go a bit woofy. So yeah, and mine does go a little bit crusty around the edges where it dries out too. But then I find that once you rinse it under the tap again, it's all good. Okay, so, and then I also need a Blackberry Bliss. Lois, you will love this set. If that is the case, you will absolutely love this set. Okay, and then this one needs to come along the edge because I'll be trimming that one. And it doesn't matter that I stamped it, oh, you didn't even see that. It doesn't even matter that I stamped it upside down because I'm going to trim it. Oh my gosh, they're tight. Okay, so now I need to sit here and cut them all out, okay? So I need to cut that one out and I need to go to the Big Shot and cut all the other ones out. So thankfully, I've already done them. So I thought you guys do not want to see me sitting there and cutting everything out. So I've got all my bits and pieces. I've got my, oh, look at that. I cut that crooked too. I cut it crooked yesterday. It's thicker on one end than what it is on the other. But anyway, now I also cut out, yesterday I cut out 2 of these ones. Lois, if you love realistic things, check that out. Very pretty. Lovely skeleton leaves. But I found, and I'll explain that to you, I found that I couldn't get my balance to work properly. Okay, so I have my Blackberry Bliss cardstock. I think that's where it goes. Give that a bit of a thingy there. Okay, and I've got a little strip of my designer series paper. Look for my glue. This is where my eyes tend to go a little bit funny. All right, so then we're going to just adhere that down on the edge. So all these layering cards seem to be very, very in at the moment, and I have to say I am not the best at them, but I came across it was a sketch, so I've used a sketch for this, and I used this on something I shouldn't have used on. Now it's okay. So the sketch, that was my card, and the sketch had a strip down the side, which is my designer series paper. Then it had a circle, which is going to be my tree stump, and then it had a sentiment over the top. So I think it was an MF. My favorite, is it My Favorite Stamps? I think it was one of those, and that was my thing. So I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. That's my basic. Let me just trim these. That's my basic sketch. So, and then I was just like, well, I'm just going to work on that sketch a little bit more. So that's what I had. So then I am going to, so what I'm going to do is use some dimensionals when I be finding them, and I'm going to pop them in the middle of my tree stump. Okay, that way when I want to put things underneath them, they're not going to interfere with my dimensionals. You know, sometimes if you put dimensionals on the outside and you want to slip something under, but you can't because your dimensionals getting in the way. So I'm going to pop that, and I like this little bit here, so I'm going to pop it in an area where I can still see it. I'll pop it down the bottom. Okay, so that way I can slide things underneath and my dimensionals, and I'm not going to interfere with anything. So then I sort of play around and try and work out where I'm going to pop things. well, actually, I don't stick anything down until I have decided, but because I've already made the card, I know what I'm doing. But I did know that I wanted that to go up there. So I think I've put my stump down a little bit further than what I did yesterday, which means now that this tree is just going to have to come up a little bit more. So I had these as well, but I just couldn't work. I couldn't get my balance to happen. It wasn't happening for me. The other girls at Lincoln Learn, they were all fine with it, but to me, they used everything, but I just couldn't get my balance to fit me right. So I ended up taking them away, and then I was happy with the look. So I think it's just a matter of keep playing until you find, don't stick anything down until you've actually figured out where you're going to put things. So I'm just using my two-way glue pen, and seriously, I love my two-way glue pens, and I'm going back to the sandbox and I'm begging Stampin' Up to put them back. Okay, and then I'll pop this one down the bottom. So there is a product sandbox, so if you want to see these back as well. Hey Miranda. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you caught me live. I'm not usually in at this time, but I'm thinking it might actually be a better time, because generally I do these in the evening and it's 8 o'clock, and normally I'm half asleep by then. And so I'm thinking maybe a morning before my gym run would be a good thing. Okay, so yeah, it's very natural. And this set, because of the colours in the designer series paper, I think it lends itself to being a masculine or a feminine card. Like this one's obviously quite a feminine because I've used the purples and the pinks, but I've also made this in another card, and I'll show you that in a moment too. Now for my tree, I am going to be using my mini dimensionals. Now, one thing I just want to explain to you, because I want to pop this up, so I'll be using my mini dimensionals, but I'll show you what I mean as I go, because it's probably a little bit difficult. But so I'm starting off with my little ones. If I can pick them up. The little ones are awesome. Now I do have to still cut one in half because I want to put it on that trunk. Oh, my poor eyes don't enjoy this. Oh dear. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm trying to get this. Okay, now hopefully that's not lost its sticky. I want to show you if I can get the angle right. Now, because that's mounted, say if that's stuck down, you can see, hang on a minute, you can see that top dimensional is not going to catch my card. Okay, it's not going to stick. So what I need to do for that one is actually put 2 dimensionals on it. So you need to remove the backing on that one and actually stick another dimensional to it. And that way it will catch. Well, it's good to be able to catch me live. Okay, so I'm just peeling off all these things. I think I got that one. Did I get that one? No. Okay, so now when I stick this on here, oops, is that straight? So now when I stick that down, see if I can get that camera angle happening, it catches the card. Oh, that's tricky to get, but you can see what I mean now. Okay, so, and also with another thing when you go to mount this on, our natural tendency is to put dimensionals on the ends. Now the same thing's going to occur if I do that. So instead of placing it right on the ends, I'm going to place it more towards the center, trying to avoid the tree stump there. And then this way it will all line up flat with the tree rather than being too high, if you get what I mean. Sometimes it's very hard to explain these things. So we're just going to pop that across. So that way, when I show you that, it's all lined up flat with the trunk and everything's adhering to something else. Okay, so I know that's a little bit tricky to show, but at least you can get that. So because it's a girly card, I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on. I've got like 3 of these sitting on my desk, and it's like, I don't know which ones are still good to go. Normally I can hold them up to the light and see which one's still got ink in them. So just for a little bit of sparkle. Which you can't see. We'll try and... No, can't even catch it in the light. It does have some on there. Okay, and then of course we want some sequins. And I have found that the, like you could use silver, but I found that's the silver. But I found that the iridescent ones pick up the purple a little bit more. So we're going to be working these in a group of 3. So in a triangle fashion. So we want one down there, one there, and look, I'm running out of the... It's just as well I've got more than one packet of these. And I'm going to put one down there. And because I've got them in... I think that's where I put one. All right, I'm going to put one over there. Because I've got them in a group of 3, I can now add... when I can find them... Here's one. I can group them, each of my little points. So I can actually have 4 because it's always... yes, that's a good idea. Very good idea. Lois, I can put the skeleton leaves on the inside of my card. Yes. So having odd numbers is always more aesthetically pleasing than what it is to have even numbers. But you'll notice I've got even numbers, but because I've clustered them together, it doesn't, it still counts as 3. If you get what I mean. And I'm coming back to my naughty 2-way glue pen. It's just so easy, seriously. All right, it is an amazing set. I love it. It's my first play with it, so I'm sure that I'm going to get a whole lot. I hope this doesn't mean that our lovely as a tree is going to disappear next year, though, because this has got the potential to take that one over, I think. Oops. And last one. So there we go. There is my card. This is the one that we made yesterday, which is pretty well the same. And yesterday we did pop that one in there. But yes, I could have easily popped them in there instead. Good thinking. And I also stamped on my envelope as well. So we've got the whole matching thing going on. Oh, Lovely as a Tree has been around. It was since well before, when I started in 2006. And but I think it was already in the American catalogue for well longer than that. Okay, so the other colour combo that I did because I want to send my uncle a card is Occasion Craze base, and I've used the what's it called? The Grapefruit Grove instead of the pink. So there you go. Now you can see what I mean when it's an orange based pink and not a pink. So that one's the male one, and we used the copper sequins. Turned out really well, and of course I didn't put any Wink of Stella on that one, but that one's going to be for my uncle. So there we go. 2 great cards. Now, if you are one of my customers, and by one of my customers I mean you have actually bought from me, then I have a VIP group just for my buying customers. It's not open for everybody. But if you are in my VIP group, and all you have to do to get in my VIP group is to obviously purchase with me. I will be doing a written tutorial to go along with this, so you can print them out and have all the measurements and everything that I've used. And if you are in my team, you will also be getting that tutorial. So you can get these, and this will become a regular thing. I've got a few happening in there already and a few scheduled to go. So it's easy. You can either purchase from me or you can join my team, and you can get all these tutorials as well as my videos and everything else that I do. So thank you very much. I'm just gonna switch around to me again. So thank you very much. I'm not off to the gym today. I'm being a little bit lazy. I've actually, oops, I hope that hasn't interfered. I've only just spotted that had fallen in. I've got nasty chilblains on my toes, and every time I put my sneakers on, they just aggravate. So, but they're starting to clear up, and I'm hoping next week I can get back to the gym and get going, because at the moment I'm hobbling when I've got my shoes on. They're not very pleasant. I hate the seasonal transfer from, you know, warm to cold. It's horrible. Okay, so thanks very much for joining me, and this is actually not a bad time slot, so I might think about perhaps moving it, because my gym class normally isn't until 10:30, so I can still squeeze it in. So cool. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going to go. Enjoy your day or your evening, and we will see you next time. Bye. Whoop, where's my off button? Over this side.